like the music. He's just laughing like a cow. Good job, Todd.
Todd, you got me on that one. Welcome back to Whissel Weekends, AM 1170. The Answer. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty. Joined as always by Mr. Jason Hall with Team Home Loans, who was talking to us about his first Atari before the break. And also in studio, we've got Robert Swathwood, host of the 9 to 5 Nerds podcast. And we geeked out pretty hardcore this last segment. But now I need you to help Jason especially understand.
Why do people want to go to Comic-Con?
Yes.
It's the biggest thing out there. It's crazy.
So for comic people, and it's not just comics. It's
not
really,
anymore. That's what it started at.
Right.
I went back then when it was actually about comic books.
Well, when it was, But now what is it? I mean, when it's truly Comic-Con, it's the comic convention, and it puts all the, I'm trying to think of how to say it, the different characters, animated stuff, all that.
It's movies, TV shows, comics, animated stuff.
And everybody's walking around
games,
and everybody's walking around like they do now in downtown Las Vegas. Like, if you've been down to downtown Las Vegas, like, everybody's out there dressed up as some type of something so they can hopefully earn a buck and you take a picture with them. And it's crazy. It's been that way about the last 3 or 4 years that I've been down there. But I imagine if the Comic-Con's the same way. Everybody shows up in costume?
Not everybody. And it's gone down a little bit, it seems like, the amount of cosplayers. But the cosplay has become such a big thing.
Cosplay. I like that's
cosplay.
Okay. See,
Costume play, Jason.
And these people, some of these are professional cosplayers. There's a girl named Allison Tabitha. She doesn't come to Comic-Con. She's out of Florida, but she dresses up as Jack Sparrow. And you would not know that it's a woman, and she's incredible. She does Edward Scissorhands and all kinds of different...
Jack Sparrow's Pirates
of the Caribbean.
Yeah, okay.
But the cosplay is
I thought
great.
that I was, I watched the movie.
What makes somebody a professional cosplayer?
Somebody's paying them.
Yeah.
No, I mean, seriously, people get sponsored, and the only times I've ever dressed up is when my son asked me to. He wanted to be Luigi, and he asked me if I dress up as Mario, and I said yes.
That's kind of cool.
And then there was one year he wanted to dress up as Ash Ketchum, which is the main character from Pokemon, and he asked me if I dress up, so I dressed up as Brock, who was one of the gym leaders, and my wife dressed up as Misty, and we dressed up our youngest, because he was a baby at the time, as Togepi, which is a Pokemon.
Okay.
But I first went to Comic-Con in 96 when you could walk up and buy tickets and it wasn't a big deal. I saw an ad on TV, which they would do almost like public access, they were just trying to get the name out, and there was ads on buses in San Diego. They don't need to do that kind of advertising anymore. And I begged my grandpa, I said, "Will you take me?" And he said yes, and that was in 96, and I've gone since then.
You've gone every year pretty much?
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's kind of your normal routine. Is that coming to town right now? What?
It'll preview night is July 18th, which is only from 6 to 9, and
so it's coming next week.
Yeah, and then it's Thursday through Sunday, full hours.
Yeah, if maybe you don't have tickets to go to Comic-Con, it's okay. You don't need them. Just go do yourself a favor and go have dinner on 5th or 6th.
That's what I tell people.
Book a reservation now. Tell them you want a seat on the patio, and just enjoy the show. The closer you are to the convention center, the better.
Because then you'll see every different hotel.
It's very, very, very entertaining. I'll tell you that.
Wow.
What's crazy is this year, for the first year ever, they're shutting down Harbor in front of the convention center from end to end because it gets so bad there.
It makes sense because I've been down there to other conferences, and it's scary walking across that road because not only you have the train going through and the trolley, but now you also, as you mentioned, you have Harbor. And you have a lot of people who get frustrated. They're on that road, and people keep walking across even when it's a red light. And then you have cars wanting to go through them, and it makes sense just to cut that down and make people go around.
Yeah,
because wouldn't it be horrible if somebody literally just ran people over like we've seen happen in other parts of the world?
Well, there kind of was when they did the zombie walk thing a few years ago.
And then there was a woman who was waiting in line for something that ran across the street and died.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the fact that they're shutting it down is a really big deal.
So walk me through when you're going. I've never been to Comic-Con.
Really?
I know. Can you believe I'm born and raised here in San Diego?
Comic-Con promoters, if you're listening to the show right now, give this guy a ticket.
Yeah,
let him go, and he will tell everybody about how he thinks about it.
Right, because I'm very open book, direct, and that's what you like and hate sometimes about me. But but we have fun. But yeah, I've never gone. So what would I see if I show up next weekend? Besides craziness, I know we're going to see craziness costume, but why would people go?
Well,
is it like a normal convention where you're going to see exhibits and things? Or?
Well, on the floor you'll see it's almost like a swap meet. You'll have people selling pop figures, which are little vinyl figures. You'll have toys everywhere, but you'll also have movie studios and video game studios and stuff trying to get you to. Last year, you could play Mario Odyssey, which is on the Switch. It was the first time you could, I don't know if it was the first time, but you could play it before it came out. So they're trying to push everything that's coming out. And then on the top floor are most of the panels, TV show panels. And then there's Hall H, which is on the bottom floor, which is, they're not going to be there this year, but that's like, Marvel is usually there. They're not doing it this year, but DC Comics will be in there. Walking Dead will be in there. That holds, I think, 7,500 people. And that's where like the big stuff. And that's where you first see
like
footage.
The whole convention center is Comic-Con? Is it
Oh,
like
yeah. And all over downtown, there's
Indigo
things
Ballroom,
happening on.
Because most conferences, there's like multiple conferences going on during a certain weekend.
Not this.
No.
This takes the entire
Takes the entire convention center. And
Not
then
only
some.
that, the Indigo Ballroom at the Bayfront, the ballroom at the Marriott, the Hyatt, everything is used. Everything. They call it like, what is it, campus? Like a campus-like thing because it spreads out through all of San Diego.
Trying to think.
But the trippy thing, Jason, is these panels.
I'm in a
Let's say there's a
conference all
panel that's happening Saturday at 10 a.m. People are lining up maybe Thursday, like sleeping for 2 nights in the street.
It's crazy because you'll see a line and you won't know if that line is for today or the next day. And then over by Seaport Village, there might be a line for 3 days from now. I don't do the whole
So
line.
people who will pay to go to Comic-Con, but really just go to one panel. And
I
they'll
don't do the
sit in
panels
line
anymore.
for the entire time just to go to a panel, just to hear some of the people speak that are in a movie that's coming out.
Wow.
There's too much stuff going on for me to wait in those lines anymore. I'd rather walk the floor. Like last year we were walking and Ben Affleck, Ezra Miller, and the cast of Justice League walked by. So you get to see people out on the floor. I mean, it's pretty neat. You get to see the Game of Thrones cast is usually there. They're not going to be there this year, but there's a lot of big celebrity presence. I've seen Adam West before he passed away, and all kinds of different celebrities that are there. You really don't know what you're going to see. It's an unbelievable experience.
All right. Well, I can't do it that weekend because I just thought I'm in a conference, but
Yeah, it's called Comic-Con. That's what that conference is called.
not mine. Mr. Hall's not going to that.
Well, it starts on Thursday.
But maybe I can get down there Thursday because I'm in a conference all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's
One of
very
those, like,
entertaining.
Just go have dinner.
Conferences, but yeah, I might have to get down there Thursday night. So
I remember
appreciate the input on that.
2 or 3 years ago in front of the Hilton Bayfront, they had every Batmobile from every movie show, and you didn't have to have a ticket. You could just go walk up and look. You walk behind the convention center, there's all kinds of stuff going on. I know 2 or 3 years ago they had a Assassin's Creed, which is a video game. I know you don't know.
No, I don't know.
It's a video game, and they
I've
had
heard
this,
of Assassin's Creed.
Is it on Atari?
Yeah, they had the Star of India back there, and they had it decked out like Assassin's Creed, and they were shooting off cannons and stuff, and it was pretty cool.
All right. Well, is that enough geeking out here on Whissel weekends?
Never.
Man.
Are you overwhelmed right now,
I am
Jason?
kind of overwhelmed, and I love movies. I'm just, and again, I was a Atari ColecoVision player back in the 80s and 70s, but
I don't even know what that second one was.
You don't know
just said.
ColecoVision? That's
No.
like, look it up. Like ColecoVision, it's actually, if you can get a ColecoVision, it's actually pretty
Somebody
expensive to get nowadays.
Google what year that was made.
In 1982, I believe you'll find out. It's 81 or 82.
I think it was before Robert
That
and
was
I were
before,
alive.
Yeah.
before I was born. I was born in 84.
Yeah. Well, that was Donkey Kong was that was ColecoVision's
Gotcha.
claim to fame, is they literally were able to get the trademark and utilize that game, and that came with the system. When you got the system, you got Donkey Kong with it.
Did it play like 8 tracks too, or did you like
It
rock out
looked
to
like
8
an
tracks
8-track.
while
it
you
looked like
played
an
it?
8-track, and you actually had a cartridge
I've
you
seen
push
them.
in.
All right, what do you got for us, Todd?
ColecoVision was released in August 1982.
See?
Wow.
There you go.
That's the most nerd I got right there.
Wow. Nostalgic, Jay. If you had one of those, you could like sell
It's-
that in North Park for a lot of money.
You
Probably.
could right now.
Hipsters would love that.
No, I'm telling you. I'm disappointed my wife threw mine away about 20 years ago.
So what movies? They always have a movie that launches right around Comic-Con. What's launching this year?
Well, Ant-Man just came out, and I mean, I know that's beforehand, but Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which is Teen Titans Go is a cartoon.
Okay.
My kids love it. That's coming out soon. But downtown is all decked out with Avengers right now.
Okay.
The one just came out in May, and the next one comes out in May, I believe, next year.
Was the one that just came out, was that tied to the comic book Infinity Gauntlet?
I don't like to admit my nerdy blind spots is what I call them, but I haven't read all of the Infinity Gauntlet.
But that's what it's tied to, right?
Yes.
So I collected
You got
one
Riley, man. You got Oliver
series.
Riley. How do you not know all that?
I know.
I collected one series of comic books my entire life, and it was Infinity Gauntlet.
Nice.
Like, I need to find them because I think they're in my
Is it
storage.
Infinity Wars?
It was called Infinity Gauntlet.
Hey, Gauntlet.
Yeah. I remember it had all the little stones and stuff. So like, I have a feeling that the value of my Infinity Gauntlet comic books are probably peaking right about now.
Maybe.
With that movie coming out because it's become relevant again. So I feel like I need to go back and find them and sell those.
I have a Walking Dead number 1.
I'll give them to you. You could take them down to Comic-Con and sell them for me. There are people, right, that actually buy and sell comic books because that's kind of what it used to be.
It's probably 20% of the floor is comic books at this point, which is small, but for somebody like me, that's what I go for. Like
Gauntlet, $2.
That's all it's worth?
There's one on here. It's used, but no, as high as $53.
You just totally bursted
Depends
my
on
bubble.
quality, I'm sure.
Just one of them. You got the whole series. So
bursted my bubble.
But I bought I
I gotta keep working. Crap.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I bought Walking Dead number 1 when it came out for $2.99.
What's that worth now?
Oh, probably around $2,500.
Wow.
I mean, Walking Dead is huge. Even if you don't watch it, you know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't watch it, but I know at least what it is.
We had Robert Kirkman on our podcast a couple months ago. He came to the house, and he's the creator of Walking Dead, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Actually had him at the house.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Well, you have just expanded our nerd audience and educated Jason on some nerdiness. Jason, you got to go to Comic-Con.
I did drop some ColecoVision on you guys, which you haven't even heard of.
Yeah, you did drop some knowledge.
Todd, can you
Never
believe these
played
kids
it.
have not heard of ColecoVision? Wow.
it's pretty crazy.
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
That was such a classic for Todd and I. Todd at least remembers what it was. I guarantee he knew what it was.
Are you going to admit it?
Our family.
Are you going to admit you know?
You know what it was, but we were Atari. Our family was Atari. It took a while before we got a video game system in the home.
Yeah, we were poor guys.
All right, guys. Well, again, we were talking with Robert Swathwood, 9 to 5 Nerds. Definitely check his podcast out, iTunes, Stitcher, all that fun stuff. When we get back, Jason and I are going to talk a little bit, we're going to shift gears and talk a little bit about the real estate market and how the TV shows out there, especially the luxury shows, I don't think we're supposed to name drop them, but some of these luxury shows out there are screwing with your mind. You're listening to Whissel Weekends, AM 1170, The Answer.